Principal Womack, thank you for sitting down with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Today you had a day,
Yes,
but every day's a day for you because you're
absolutely.
very passionate about what you do. Tell us a little bit about the math, science, technology prep school here in Buffalo, New York.
The Math, Science, and Technology Preparatory School is a school that's nestled in the east side of Buffalo. We sit between a major corner, two major corners, and we sit across the street from a major church, Mount Olive. We have been a school that has experienced a lot of turnaround in the last 7 years. And that work is rooted in love. It's very intentional work. That work is student centered, which just means that everything that we do, every decision that we make, the child, the student is at the center of it. It's not about doing what's fun or what's interesting. It's about doing what's necessary. So we're very data driven. My teachers work very hard. We believe in professional development. And one of the key things that I think that has taken us, because in New York State, they label schools or give schools designation based on test scores. And when I first took over the principalship 3 years ago, we were identified as a CSI school, which is the lowest performing school designation that a school can have in the state. And it was through the intentional work. It was rooted in data, relationships. We really, really believe in trauma-informed care and talking to our children with respect, having extraordinary high expectations, but still giving them that support to pull them up when they need it. You know,
That's incredible.
Absolutely.
I got to talk to some of your students without you knowing, just in the hall.
Yes.
And I said, tell me about what's happening here, Miss Womack. And they all agree Ms. Womack does not play, but she is not going to let us fail. I thought that was powerful. One of your
Amen.
students said she will not let us fail.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
One of the things when they say I don't play, what that means is just, I will listen to you. You will feel safe, seen, and heard, but I will not allow your behavior to take away from the work that is being done in this building.
For that student and all the others.
Yes,
Incredible.
absolutely.
You're an incredible leader.
They've come from, a lot of my students, when they first get to me in the 9th grade, I call it bad habits. They've acquired a set of bad habits. Not all of them, but some of them. And it's really my job to work with them, like meeting them where they are, explaining to them the difference between elementary school or a grammar school and a high school. I tell them, I only have 4 very short years to get you prepared for your adulthood.
Yeah.
And here, I do not have time, not even one day, to waste.
That's it.
So these conversations that we have, these interactions that we have, the set of expectations that I have for them, I go back to it. It is intentional because you've seen just in this event, I had one of my former students as security for Dr. Obama. One of my former students was here as the superintendent of Utica schools. He was my student teacher, Dr. Christopher Spence. You know, Kobe being one of my former students in English class. My children achieve great things. And it's not by accident, it is intent.
That's
it's
incredible.
Intentional.
Let me ask you this about your relationship with International Jumuiya. Tell us a little bit about, I know that Comey's one of your former students, and he's the founder and architect, visionary for that. He, as Dina, his team, Danielle, these incredible students. Tell us about that relationship with International Jumuiya and how it came to be.
So during COVID, Comey called me. Comey was doing some mission work in Africa. And when he came back to the States, he would call the school phone and, you know, so right before COVID happened, he called me and he said, oh, Ms. Womack, you're an assistant principal now. I really need your help. I really have it on my heart I want to start a non-for-profit for students like me, because when Comby was in 7th grade, every step of the way I moved up. In New York State, we are certified from 7 through 12 in our content area. So when Comby was in 7th grade, I had his whole cohort of, I think, maybe 115 kids. And then 8th grade, I moved up to their 8th grade teacher. In 9th grade, by the time he reached 10th grade, halfway through his 10th grade year, I accepted a position to be an instructional coach at a local high school. So I ended up leaving the classroom, halfway through that school year. But to be quite honest with you, when he called my cell phone during COVID. We were, all at home, and he talked about this plan, this idea of helping students and mentoring them and giving them book bags and toothpaste and jackets and winter clothes, and just wonderful things. And I was very honest with him. I said, Comby, they need it. However, I'm not the person that can guide you through the startup of a nonprofit. That's just not my wheelhouse. What you need to do is you need to reach out to people in our city, in the city of Buffalo, New York, that are doing it, and they are doing it at a high level. You don't need to talk to somebody that just got started. You need to talk to a person that you aspire to be like, and get them, because that's really my message of my 22-year career in education. You find people that are doing what you want to do at a high level. You connect with them, you network with them, you get under their leadership, you start talking to them, you use them as thought partners. And when you do that, it rubs off on you.
Sure.
And when that greatness and that excellence rubs off on you, you start turning that into your own vision and, taking it up a scale to what you want it to be.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's right. That's right. So he did that, and he called me maybe 2 months later and said, okay, I found a lawyer. I have an accountant. I have a team, and he started naming team members, and they were students that I formerly taught, and they were medical school and law school. They were accountants already, and I said, you have the team.
This is it.
So you were serious, because
I
will
built a
not.
Community.
Yes, I will not waste my time, because if you know anything about people that's really changing our community, they don't have spare time.
That's right.
They can give you, $100 donation or a $200 donation, but they cannot give you time.
That's right.
So when he did that, I said, absolutely, I'll be a board member, and I'm proud of the work. I'm proud of the work that Comby and his team that he's leading, that they're doing.
It's been powerful to watch.
I gave him my baby, right? I became the principal, and I allowed them to come in and do that work, because if they fail, then I fail, right?
Yeah.
And we do not fail.
I think it's a powerful story that a former student, a former teacher, now principal, a non-for-profit leader are working together to give back. That's the story, in my opinion. I want to ask you this. If you had to look out on this audience today and speak to overcoming challenges and how you've navigated the difficult parts of the story, what would you say to all of the young Miss Womacks, the future principals, change agents, community leaders? What would you say to them now?
I would say, before anything, know your why. Do not get into anything unless you know why. What is your purpose? Why are you doing whatever X is? Because if you don't know your why, the world will try to change it and move it, and you start off trying to help children and you'll end up, anywhere else. Right. But know your why and get centered on that. You have to be so clear and so intentional, because if you're not, somebody will come in and change it. That's right. And that's not the work. The work has to be what you want to do. We only are on this planet for a very short time. And I refuse to live a life where I'm not of service. I know where I'm going when I leave here. And I'm very, very clear on that. So when I face hardships and adversity and naysayers and, chaos, I get centered, I become still, and I speak to one person. And sometimes we don't use words. But the important part is knowing your why and being relentless about ensuring that you do not move from it and that you do not allow people to use you for their benefit, that you stay committed. And my why is always about ensuring that children feel safe, seen, and heard. It was that way when I was in college. It was that way when I got my first teaching job, when I moved into my instructional coaching for teachers, and as an assistant principal, and now as a principal. Safe, seen, and heard. Because if they don't feel safe, they can't navigate this space. They can't learn if they don't feel safe. It's the hierarchy, right? We talk about Maslow. They have to feel safe. And not just physical safe. I have to be okay with making a mistake in math and knowing that the rest of the 25 people in my class won't laugh at me. So we have to have a culture. We have to have a culture of we're a team. When you look good, I look good. And when we go out there and we're winning competitions against students that are in private schools and who parents pay a lot of money, but it's the math, science, and technology preparatory school children that are walking away with second place or third place. We're placing where other children and their teams are not. And I'm speaking of robotic competitions at different colleges and local universities. My kids are doing the work, and I'm proud of it.
Ms. Womack, we're proud of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.